Hey, shalom to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And welcome back to another lesson of Torah Tuesday. Tonight's topic is going to be laws concerning unclean carcasses. Okay, so pretty much going to go into um, what it actually saying as the law. I'm not going to chime in too much because it's pretty much self-explanatory. The Heavenly Father definitely knew when He left His laws. He also left us how to deal with carcasses like dead bodies, okay, whether it be animal or humans. And I think tonight we're going to deal with Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 24. Um, so going into that, it's pretty much going to sum up dealing with animals right now. Um, there's going to be another lesson dealing with the unclean and clean animals to eat as well. But this one is just dealing with carcasses. Okay. So let's start off with I'm going to start off with in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 2. Go back. Share the screen. Okay. Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 2. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of a unclean cattle, or the carcass of a unclean creeping thing, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Verse 3. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled wherewithal, and it be hidden from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. So basically, when he said he shall be guilty, it just simply saying that, once again, it said if he don't know about it, but then if he finds out, and if he finds out, then he's held guilty, meaning that he should know what to do according to the law, and also what the law says if he finds himself in that certain condition or situation. Okay. And that's when the Heavenly Father said you be guilty, because once again, it behooves us to actually know of these laws. Okay. That's when he said guiltiness, because the Heavenly Father expects you as an Israelite to know his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. So it says he shall be guilty. So let's start off. Let's go over to Leviticus, get right into it. Chapter 11. We're going to start at 24. Because if he's holding us guilty of it, then we definitely should be aware of it and know of it. And that's one of the reasons why the Heavenly Father kind of put it on my spirit to have a Torah Tuesday. Okay, so we start at 24. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever toucheth the carcass of them shall be unclean until even. And whosoever beareth aught the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean unto even. The carcass of every beast which divideth the hoof and is not cloven footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean unto you. Every one that toucheth them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean unto you. Whosoever toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until even. So just to pause right there. So now it's telling you about animals that actually walketh upon all fours, and that have paws, and it's saying that their carcasses shall be unclean to you. It says, any beast that nor cheweth the cud or divided the hoof. So we know, for an example, that a camel, okay, that a camel cheweth the cud, but the feet of the camel is not, is fully round. It doesn't divide the hoof, just to give it an example. Okay, he's saying that that carcass shall be unclean unto us. Okay. Verse 28. And he that toucheth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean unto even. They are unclean unto you. 29. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creepeth things that creepeth upon the earth, the weasel and the mouse and the tortoise after his kind. So I just want to pull up, share some screen on, pull up a few of these animals that they're talking about real quick. So it says the weasel and the mouse, right? So right here, so it has clean animals and unclean animals, if you guys can see this. Right, clean animals and unclean animals. Let me blow it up a little bit. There we go. So here we are. We have the mouse, right? It said the tortoise right here. It's also got the snakes, the sharks. But as you can see, that there's enough information out there dealing with animals, right? And their carcasses, as well as what's edible, you know, information that's out there for us to understand. It's not a mystery. You know, all you got to do is read the law. Okay. Gonna go back. Right. So it says, I started 29 again. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creepeth things that creepeth upon the earth, the weasel and the mouse, the tortoise after his kind, the ferret, and let me get that right.
Chameleon.
And the chameleon, had to get that, couldn't pronounce that the correct way. And the chameleon and the lizard and the snail and the mole. Okay. Let me share a little bit with you on this one because I have kind of was looking through. So now here's the camel. All right. Now look how they got it. They got the camel all cut up, you know, got his head hanging out. They still got some leaves like he's eating, but they actually dissected this camel already. So this would be totally unclean, not only as far as eating, but as far as touching the carcass of it, right? It says right here in the thing, it says, you may not eat camel. Okay, it said, do not laugh. This is one of the, I guess whoever it was, he said, I ate camel, a camel burger in Syria. Okay, then you go down, you know, the famous old pork chop is right there. You know, pork chop. You go down a little bit more, there you go another, the famous old shrimp. Okay, right there. And what's funny now, look at that. This is called bat soup. Okay, but this is what's out there. You know, we're not really dealing with the animals as far as clean and unclean that we can eat, but it all collaborate together, right? So if we can't eat it, the Most High telling us also we cannot touch their carcasses, okay? And if we do, then we are to wash our hands and be unclean until the evening. Now, if you really think about it, you know, those animals must carry some type of bacteria, right, that would affect the human body. You know, if the Most High didn't even want us to touch them, and he tells us to wash not only our hands but our clothes as well, then there's something there's something going on with those animals that the Most High is telling us to stay clear and to understand that they are unclean to us. Okay. I don't know what that is, but then we go back down to there. So let me go back to Leviticus, and I'm going to start at 31. These are the unclean. Wait, I'm sorry. These are unclean to 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 you among all creeping things. Whatsoever doeth, whosoever touches them, when he be dead, he shall be unclean to even. And upon whatsoever thing of them, when they are dead, do it fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood or raiment or skin or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put unto water, and it shall be unclean until you. It shall be unclean until the even. So it shall be clean. So now it's telling you that if the carcass itself fall on any wood, sack, uh, any kind of vessel, that it is to be cleaned, washed with water, and then that vessel will be lawful at even, meaning at even at the sundown, meaning starting another day. All right. So now, once again, I'm just reading the law. Is things that we need to be aware of, because uh, to keep us focused on our routine within life, period. We always know, like, for instance, you know, uh, we like to clean our meat. We clean our meat with vinegar. We like to clean our meat with, with lemon, and I'm talking about meats that is lawful to eat, right? But also the Heavenly Father is telling us that those vessels that we eat, which is lawful to eat, even the carcass of them, still the area still has to be clean. Like if you have a chopping board, or things like that. You got to keep those things sanitary and clean. And I think, from reading this, basically the Heavenly Father has given us sanitation laws, on how we should keep things sanitated and keep things separate, right? According to his laws and according to the health of our bodies as well. So I'm going to read 33. And every earthly vessel whereunto any of them falleth, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Okay. Verse 24. Of all meats which may be eaten, that on which such water cometh shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean. Once again, it's just repeating, like chicken. Chicken is lawful, right? But we know that we have to sanitize that area when we're preparing it and after we prepare it, because of the bacteria that they have on chicken. I think it's salmonella, I believe it is. That's what the chicken actually spreads. So, you know, sanitation purposes, we would clean the surface and any other vessel, earthly vessel that may be close to that when you are cleaning or whatsoever, however you preparing it, you know, because of the bacteria. Okay. So verse 36, nevertheless, a fountain or a pit wherein there is plenty of water, it shall be clean. But that which toucheth their carcasses shall be unclean. So running water, one of the camping rules is that, most of the water that has a continuous stream, could be drinking from after you put the sanitizing tablets in there, and pretty much safe to drink. Now, if you have a puddle of water and it's sitting still, one of the camping rules is that you pretty much don't want to touch that water. Only in emergency, situations, and if you have some sanitation tablets, maybe, but you're taking a really heck of a chance. But here it's saying that, if a fountain or a pit wherein there is plenty of water shall be clean, but that which toucheth their carcasses shall be unclean. Verse 27. And if any part of their carcasses fall upon any sowing seed which is to be sowed, it shall be clean. But if any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall therein, it shall be unclean unto you. That one I got to do a little bit more researching, because when I read it, it's saying that verse 38, it says, but if any water be put upon the seed, right? No, I'm going back up, 37. It says, if any part of their carcasses fall upon any sowing seed which is to be sowed, it shall be clean. So I kind of look at that as, you sowing this seed, it's sort of like manure, when you have a garden and things like that, and you put fertilizer in it. Now it's saying the carcass of an animal. So when the carcass of an animal actually, let's say it dies among itself, but it's in the ground, it is actually going back. It starts to decompose. So it decomposed back into the ground, into the dirt, right, which fertilizes the ground and the seed as well. That's how it kind of catches it. But then it tells you that, but if the carcasses fall in water and you put it on the seed, that seed will be unclean. Okay, because if you read 38, it says, I'm gonna go back to 37. It says, and if any part of their carcass fall in upon any sowing seed which is to be sowed, it shall be clean. But if any water be upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you. Okay, so let's read verse 39. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean until even. And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean until even. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean unto even. Okay, verse 41. And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all fours, or whatsoever hath more feet among all the creeping things that creepeth upon the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. So let's look at it. Okay, let's look at 42 when it says, whatsoever goeth upon the belly. Now, I know I've seen a few of programs on TV where Naked and Afraid, Survival Man, we've all seen them hunt down snakes, chop their head off, skin them, and cook them and eat them. Well, right here, that's against the law. But snake eating is unlawful anyway, right? Or lizards, or anything like that. But it said, whatsoever goeth upon the belly, just keep that in mind. because the Heavenly Father is saying that we're not supposed to eat it, nor do we supposed to touch their dead carcasses, okay, the bodies of them. And it says, creepeth upon all four, and whatsoever hath more feet among all the creepeth things that creepeth upon the earth. So that could be your centipedes, that could be your caterpillars, you know, that has more feet than four, that creepeth upon the ground, okay? It says, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. Okay. That's funny. Let's go back. Let's see. Here we go with a little delicacy that they like to eat. There's the mouse. We know that in certain parts, in certain countries, you know, they eat the mouse and the snake and the they eat the snake and they eat the lizards. This is a camel. All right, part of the lizard family. You know, these things are totally unlawful unto us. Okay, the kimono lizard, unlawful unto us. So once again, I'm going to get into the foods that's unlawful not to eat. But right now, like I said, we're talking about the carcasses. So let's go back to Leviticus. And I'm going to start at Start at 43. And ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creepeth thing that creepeth it, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye shall be defiled thereby. For I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creepeth thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am the Lord that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beast, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beasts that may be eaten and the beasts that may not be eaten, right? So I'm going to stop there. But the next uncleanness, Torah Tuesday, dealing with the topic, I'm going to go into the animals that, which he said is lawful and unlawful, okay, as well as the creepeth things that creepeth upon the earth. But we're going to go into that a little bit more details and go into some visuals and some images to show exactly what people are actually eating around the world today. And then you want to sit back and you want to say, you know, this is why all of these diseases are coming about. It's because that society has made it okay to just eat anything and everything, right? But the Heavenly Father tells his children, I have a law, you know, I have a dietary law. I have a law dealing with how to handle carcasses. I have a law of cleanliness of men. I have a law of cleanliness of women. I have a law. He has a law for everything, everything. Okay. It's just up to us to seek out his laws with it, which are stored within the Bible, the first 5 books of the Bible, right? Search them out, research them. If you don't have any understanding about them, you know, we have at our fingertips all this technology right there. We can pull it up and find out what animals that you may not have no understanding about. Bring them up, look into it, pass it on to your family and friends, especially your children, and stay away from these unclean animals. Okay, and with that, you know, it would also preserve our body as well, you know, because that way we won't let these germs into our bodies and that will make us sick, because that's the whole plan, right? The Heavenly Father tells us what to put into our bodies because he made these bodies. Okay. So with that, I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll be back next Tuesday with more of the laws of uncleanliness. Shalom.